Welcome to you all. Who would have believed that if 3 months ago someone had told you in a couple of months' time more than half the world's population will be confined to their homes, or house arrest if you like, you'd be pretty surprised. You are a very naughty human race. Now go to your room and have a good think about what you've been doing to the planet for the last decades. I'm in Milan, in Lombardy in Italy, and it's a very hard-hit area of the world. And by the time this ends, I will have been locked down for about 12 weeks. But that's not why I'm here to talk to you today. Many people have asked me to do a video on the most effective way to stay fit and healthy during this lockdown. As you may know, the SHINE acronym here stands for Sustainable Health Inspired by Nature and Evolution. Exposure to nature and the outdoors is a key part of SHINE and a major contributor to great health. We should move in nature as often as possible. Our current predicament is a reminder of just how important time in nature is. So today I'm going to talk about the evolutionary aspect of health and fitness. We are adaptive survival machines, that's how we've made it here. But we need to provoke our adaptive response. If we move and train in the same way all the time, there's really no motivation for our bodies to kick in any adaptive responses. And as many of us know who have been to gym, we nearly always plateau. Much of our health centres on hormonal responses, particularly natural anabolic hormonal responses. So today I'm going to talk about high intensity training, why it's so good for us, not only now, but always. I think it's probably pretty unlikely to be the last time we'll have a lockdown, so it's good to be prepared. So let me try and explain briefly about high intensity interval training, or HIIT as it's known. Our bodies have a couple of ways to produce energy when we move. In simple terms, one is aerobic, which is when we have enough oxygen to maintain energy production for the duration of the exercise. So moderate paced distance running, moderate paced cycling, hiking. The second energy system is when we exercise so intensely we can't supply enough oxygen to produce the energy, and we move to an anaerobic system. This system can't be used indefinitely, but it's absolutely perfect for short bursts of high intensity exercise like sprinting or hill sprints or intense resistance training. You should end up completely out of breath and even possibly feeling a bit nauseous. So it's this second high intensity system that is the unequivocal sign to your body that it has been challenged and really needs to adapt. During the process of using this high energy anaerobic system, there's a byproduct called lactate. Normally your body can recycle and reduce lactate levels in your blood, but during high intensity exercise workouts, the blood lactate levels increase. High levels of blood lactate stimulate the production of two awesome natural anabolic hormones, HGH and IGF-1. They're human growth hormones. Both these hormones are responsible for tissue growth and repair all around the body. Muscles, bones, ligaments, tendons, fascia, immune cells, pretty much everything. So they are great hormones for your health. So when we're young, we are teeming with growth hormones. It's what makes us grow. But as we get older, they are a little bit more difficult to stimulate. But there are two well-known natural ways to stimulate growth hormones. One is intense exercise, and the second is great deep sleep. So let's get on to how to do HIIT. There are actually many high-intensity interval training regimens. Most have been developed for and by elite athletes, and the one I want to talk about today is no exception. In 1996, Professor Izumi Tabata conducted a huge research project. It started with elite speed skaters, but went on to include many other groups. Izumi Tabata was trying to find out the best blend of timings in terms of the amount of exercise and then rest. After much research, the most successful combination was one where you do 20 seconds of intense exercise followed by 10 seconds of rest, and you repeat that 8 times. The professor studied 2 groups of people. One did an hour of moderate intensity continuous training, and the second group did a single high intensity Tabata protocol. His study found that the high intensity group improved aerobic capacity to a similar degree to the moderate intensity continuous training, but also resulted in a 28% increase in anaerobic capacity. The other major difference is that one was doing exercise for an hour and the other group was doing exercise for 4 minutes. Tabata is great, it's simple to do, and you get a great session. A couple of important points. Firstly, size matters. When you want to do a high intensity and have the lactate and growth hormone response, you need to use your biggest muscles. So high intensity finger curls just won't cut it. Squats, squat jumps, burpees, deadlifts, now you have some serious benefits. Secondly, if you head over to YouTube and look up Tabata, you'll find many exercise routines. The vast majority do 20, 10, 8 times protocol, but each 20 of exertion is a different exercise. So like the first one could be squats, the second one could be lunges, the third might be a plank. Now, this may be a fun workout, but it's not technically a Tabata. Tabata insists that you do all 4 minutes using the same set of muscles, in other words, the same exercise. If you do a Tabata of just burpees or just push-ups, you'll soon realise why the system works so well. Okay, before I show you just how this does work, just a quick word about Tabata timers. There are many Tabata timer apps out there you can stick on your phone. You could just watch a clock, but my favourite is a playlist on Spotify and YouTube called Tabata Songs. There's a bunch of upbeat tracks with a guy telling you when to start and when to stop, and I'll stick a link in the description below. Cool, so let's do it. Now, I'm not going to do a whole Tabata routine that you can follow. I'm not a Jane Fonda, but I'll show you some of the exercises that work really well with Tabata and then let you loose with a timer and hopefully a bit of motivation. If you haven't done high intensity work ever, or even recently, just take it easy. Just do a couple of Tabata rounds with the exercises you find most comfortable. You can move on to squats with weights or Tabata sprints when you're ready and you're allowed outside. My routine would generally start with a warm-up, and my favourite warm-up is balancing. So I'll show you a balancing warm-up. I also warm up with a rope jump, and I also try to warm up with the same movement as I'm going to do in the higher intensity session. Then I'll do 2 or 3 toughish, intense Tabata sessions, and then cool it off a little bit at the end. Squats are great, and you can improvise with some weight. Straight leg deadlifts are fantastic. Burpees are amazing. Push-ups are great but tough. And if you can, something just pulling, so just pulling your shoulders back. So enjoy, and I'm going to move over here and show you just some of these exercises. Excellent. So welcome back. Let's have a quick look at the way Tabata works. I've got my playlist timer here. As I said before, I'm not going to do a whole routine for you to follow. I'm just going to show you some of the exercises and some things you can do, and then maybe get a timer, pick a couple of exercises, and then just start getting into it. So my favourite way to get going and to start warming up with Tabata is just doing a balancing exercise. Balancing is always so great for waking up the nervous system, doing the transition from being sedentary to going into an exercise routine. And there are plenty of ways to do it, simple ways to do it. Now I have a little balance ball here which I just got off Amazon, very easy, but there are plenty of other ways of doing balancing. One is just to stand on one leg, then onto the other leg. The other is to make it a little bit more difficult, is to stand on one leg with your arms across your chest and then close your eyes and then hold that. And although it's not technically a Tabata, I just use the Tabata music just to do 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, just to get going. So let's start with that, to Survivor, which is a great song considering we're locked up.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And do a little bit of arm warm up as well. Nice soft knees.
3, 2, 1, stop!
This is our 10 seconds of rest. Works perfectly.
3, 2, 1, go! I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder, I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it, I will survive. Keep on surviving, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder, I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it, I will survive. Keep on surviving.
So that's balancing. As I said, you can just do one leg, close your eyes. Harder than it looks. So the next warm-up I like to do is a rope jump. I like a speed rope. Some people do other ropes, but this is another one. If you don't have the equipment, that really doesn't matter at all. You can easily just do jumping up this and just pretend you've got a rope jump. But this also works well with Tabata, so okay. Rope jump, just
Here we go in 5,
nice soft knees.
3, 2, 1, go!
And there we go. Rope jump, getting warm. So it gets the heart going a little bit. And don't forget, I've just done one. You're going to do 8 repetitions of each of those. And you'll be plenty warm by the time you get into whatever you're doing next. As I said before, things like squats are fantastic, using the biggest muscles of your body. So if you're going to do squats, it's nice to do a warm-up with a squat, but without any weights or anything. So I'll just show you how I would do this. And it's nice to get a track that has a good rhythm to it.
Here we go in 5.
So this is just a warm-up.
3, 2, 1, go! Round 1.
And then you just repeat that 8 times. Okay, we're not done yet.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now I would then move into something like a kettlebell. This is a 30 kilo kettlebell, and I would use exactly the same track going into this. But we'll come back to this. I know you don't all have kettlebells.
4, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my God, I see the way you shine. Round 1. Your hand, my dear, place them both in mine. You know you stopped me back when I was passing by. Now I beg to see you dance just one more time. 3, 2, 1, stop! See you every time.
Okay. We can also be slightly inventive. If you've been hoarding water, it's a great idea. So something like this.
4, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my God, I see the way you shine. Round 1. Your hand, my dear, place them both in mine. You know you stopped me back when I was passing by. Now I beg to see you dance just one more time. 3, 2, 1, stop! See you every time.
Okay, so we've done that. I've just found a little pole to play with, and if we get a second lot, the handles. Squats are also perfect, so here we go. Let's try something different. Okay. Little squats.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Round 1.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to Tabata.
You could also
Are you ready?
bring them across the chest.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Round 1. Stop. Round 2.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
So that's squats using really power these forwards. Just a quick thing with safety with squats. It's a very easy exercise to do. You just have to keep one thing in mind. You have a S-shaped curved spine, and that is your perfect normal body alignment. So hips, ankles up through your shoulders. Now whatever you do, if you can keep your spine in that position, so if you're squatting, you just keep it in the same position all the time. The next one I'm going to show you is a straight leg deadlift, which really goes for the hamstrings. And that's going to be, you're keeping your spine shape, you're keeping your legs straight, and I'll show you how to do that one. So let's try this over here. So basically what you're doing is just keeping your legs straight and going up and down. And what you're going to do is you're going to pivot, hinge from the hips and back up. So let your hips drop back and then back up. But when you come back up, you power forward. Don't overextend, not great. Just from there, just to straight, to straight. Yep. So I'll show you how to do this one. We'll do this with, what do I like? Oh. straight legs, looking forward.
Go!
Coming around in my direction. So thankful for that. Such a blessing, yeah. Turn every situation into heaven, yeah. Oh, you are my sunrise on the darkest day. Got me feeling some kind of way. Made me wanna savor every moment slowly.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Do one more.
They love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. The way you nibble on my ear, the only words I wanna hear.
3, 2, 1, go!
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando, voy
Round two.
agarrando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso. Ya me está gustando más que lo normal. Todos mis sistemas van pidiendo más. Esto que tomamos sin ningún apuro.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído.
Slightly different one. Okay, you can go into press-ups.
3, 2, 1, go!
I remember when I lost my mind.
Round 1.
There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without
3, 2,
yeah, I was
1,
out of
stop.
touch.
And there we go. Another version, the easier version is from the knees. What I would suggest is on your knees, bring your heels near your bottom and you come off your kneecaps.
Does that make me crazy? Probably. Does that make me crazy?
3, 2, 1, stop!
And we can do something like the kick-ups.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice, and that's my only advice. Ooh, no, now who do you
3, 2, 1,
think
stop.
you are?
Round.
Building up a bit of a sweat there. So there's a few ideas for you. You get the idea. I was just doing 1 or 2 of each, but you need to keep to the same exercise all the way through. If it's squats, you do all 8 repetitions, same exercise. And sometimes you can just do one. It's one Tabata. Do a nice squat one. You can do it before you go to work. 4 minutes. 4 minutes it takes. Not very much. I hope that was helpful. Just to remember a couple of things. One is that Tabata is meant to be very, very high intensity, and any high intensity interval training is meant to be absolute max when you're working out. So if you're getting through to number 8 of an exercise fairly easily, you really need to either change the exercise, or if you're picking up weights, increase the weight so that when you get to number 8 you're pretty much done by the end of number 8. If you're getting to 5 and 6 and you're completely shattered, just pace it down a little bit and just try and adjust it so you can get through to all 8 repetitions. Again, if you're at 7 and you're absolutely shattered, just pull out and stop doing it, and just don't go to a point where you're going to hurt yourself in any way. So it's something you just need to find the correct exercises, enjoy them, and but really give it as much as you can for each workout. Enjoy, get that Tabata going, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side of this crazy time.